Hi, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Kim Doyle Wille, and today I'm making a fabulous dessert for the real women of Philadelphia. Today we're going to make pralines and cream chocolate raspberry tartlets using Kraft Philadelphia original cream cheese. That's going to make this so rich and yummy, and a dessert that'll be done in 15 minutes that you can take to any potluck or serve your family, serve it at your graduation party, whatever you like. Let's get started. I've got a small heavy saucepan over low heat here, and you'll notice I've also got a double boiler going over low heat. What I'm going to do is we're going to start by making our praline mixture. I'm pouring in 1/4 cup of whipping cream. To that, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of packed light brown sugar, and we'll just sprinkle that in there and give it a quick stir. Now this recipe goes very quickly. Once this starts bubbling, we only want to cook it for another 2 minutes because it'll harden up on us just like a cookie. So instead, we want to make this a thick syrup that we're going to mix with our Kraft Philadelphia cream cheese and some whipped cream over at the counter in a little bit. So I've got that stirred together. I've got 1 cup of milk chocolate chips. We're just going to dump those in there. Then I've got another 1/4 cup of whipping cream. This will be a total of 1½ cups of whipping cream. I just love pralines. Pralines I associate with one of the best memories of my life. I want to go to Savannah, obviously, but I've been to Atlanta when I was younger and a teenager. I was on the National Council of Youth Ministries, and we had to meet with all the bishops in Atlanta. And after one particularly rigorous day, a bunch of us decided to hike on over a couple miles to Ebenezer Baptist Church and go see if we could go sing with the choir at Martin Luther King's church. And we ended up doing it. They were pretty hushed when the whole group of us came in, and they didn't know what to expect of us. But we had the most memorable experience because on our hike over there, we stopped at a bakery and got some coffee and pralines. And that was the first time I'd ever had pralines. And they were so good. So I just decided I'd mix that caramel and those nuts and some raspberries and some chocolate together in these little graham cracker crusts that we're going to turn into these tartlets. So, as you'll see, my mixture has started to boil. We only want to boil that for 1 minute. What you'll see that it's all caramelized. I've got a spare bowl here. I'm going to take and pour in about 2 tablespoons of this caramel sauce that we're going to reserve and use on the top to decorate our cups with. But meanwhile, we'll just let this cook for another minute. There's our caramel. It's about bubbled up. It's been cooking a total of 3 minutes. We're going to go ahead and turn that off. And there is our melted chocolate. It's all ready to go. You can see it's all melted up there. So we're going to turn that off as well. This literally has taken 3 minutes. So we've turned this caramel off. We've turned our melted chocolate off because it's all ready to go. And what we're going to do is add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of butter, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we're just going to whisk that all together. See, that melted up really quick. We're basically taking it before it turns into a confection. Now I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of pecan pieces. As you can see, they're just the pieces that you buy at the store. They're just tiny. So I'm just going to dump those in and coat these right up. And now, right over here, I've got a bowl that I just sunk some ice and some water into. We're going to take and put this mixture right into another bowl that's sunk into that ice and water. Because what we're going to do is chill this down so it becomes a nice syrup that we can add to our cream cheese and to the whipped cream and pour into our little tartlets. We'll just let that go ahead and set aside while we go ahead and paint up our graham cracker crusts. So our next step is a fun one. We're just going to take this melted chocolate with a pastry brush I've got here, and we're just going to go ahead and coat the insides of these little cups with chocolate. Not only will it make it taste good, but if you decide that you want to take these out of the shell after they're done, because you don't like that little aluminum tin, then you can go ahead and remove these, and that chocolate will bind your graham cracker crust. And there we are. It's done. So we're just going to whip up 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. I'll just go ahead and put it in there. We're not adding sugar or anything to it. We're going to whip it until stiff peaks form. I kind of like to drape a towel over my mixer, even though I've got a splash guard on there so it doesn't get all over everything. Okay, I've got 4 ounces of our Kraft Philadelphia regular cream cheese, which is going to make this just so rich and smooth. I've got it at room temperature. I'm just going to go ahead and break it up a little bit with this whisk, just like that. Now you can see our praline mixture stiffened right up while it was sitting in that ice water. But see, it's still got a little bit of gooiness to it, which is exactly what we want. Although if it sugars up a little bit, it still mixes in just fine. It's just a little bit more granular in texture. Now what we'll do is just whip this together quick. Just like that. See, isn't that beautiful? Oh, it smells great. But that cream cheese is just going to give us a great body that helps these set up. And I love cream cheese in anything. It adds such a great, rich, creamy texture. And of course, you've got that cheesy flavor to it. So that's all mixed together. Now we'll go ahead and add in our whipped cream. Just go ahead and fold that all together. Try and be gentle on the whipped cream as much as possible. Ooh, see, it's getting that nice little toffee effect going there with that cream. This is going to be so yummy. It's ready to go. Isn't that beautiful? So we'll just fill these up. I'm just going to take a regular old tablespoon and fill them up, just like this. Just glop it right on in there as prettily as possible. I don't see a need for a pastry bag, really, with these little delectables. Now, didn't those come out lovely? Just spread that mixture evenly between them. I'm just going to circle these with raspberries, just like this. So we've got a really pretty little tartlet going on. Now I'm just drizzling some of that reserved praline sauce that we reserved early on in the process over these raspberries and over these little tartlets. So it'll give it that good finishing touch and glaze, and then we'll add some chocolate right after this. But you can see it's kind of thickened up the remainder of what I have to drizzle over this. So don't be afraid just to add in a little bit more whipping cream or milk just to thin it out just a little bit so it's easier to drizzle on there. See, that loosened that right up, so we'll be able to drizzle that. Okay, last step before eating. We're just going to go ahead and drizzle that thinned out chocolate sauce over these. Oh, doesn't that look delicious? It's a little bit of fruit, chocolate, caramel, nuts. This is awesome. And then, of course, it's topped off with the great taste and richness of Philadelphia original or regular cream cheese. See, I am dying to dive into this excellent dish. It looks awesome. Here we go. It just melts in your mouth. That rich, cheesy flavor. The chocolate, the pecans, the caramel. Don't you just love having Kraft Philadelphia cream cheeses around? I do. I keep them in my fridge all the time. I use them for appetizers, quick meals, great desserts that I can take in just a few minutes. So I hope you'll rush out and get you some Kraft Philadelphia cream cheese. I love that cheesy, creamy, rich texture. It just made this dish perfect. So remember to spread a little love to the hungry. And if you can't feed 100 people, please feed just one. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you back here next time.